My name is Jen Newens. I'm the publishing director for West Margin Press. I'm talking to you from my living room today. And yes, I am wearing yoga pants. I'll miss seeing all of you at the fall regionals this year, but I hope this video will give you a sense of what we're up to for the fall 2020 season. Our first book is called 5 on the Bed. It's a counting story for kids age 3 to 6, and it depicts a family of 5. So we have a mom, a dad, a kid, a dog, and a cat. And they're in their nighttime ritual before going to bed. Author and artist Addie Boswell wrote this book using her own family as a model. And Addie is a children's book author and illustrator, as well as a professional muralist, and she lives in Portland, Oregon. Let me show you some of the spreads here. So you can see it has really simple text, which helps with learning and reading numbers. And it also doubles as a soothing bedtime story. The artwork, which is just fantastic, is this 3D paper cut art. Here's one more spread here. So it's really very unique. And as Kirkus says, it's a delightful counting book to read aloud, especially at bedtime. Our pub date for this book is October 13th. Our next book is called Wildlife on Paper. This book depicts 16 endangered animals, bringing awareness about them for kids aged 6 to 9. The author and illustrator, his name is Kunal Kundu. His art is like nothing we've seen before. He's actually an award-winning visual artist based in India. What he does is he uses this innovative crumpled paper technique. So you can see this elephant on the cover is actually made from crumpled paper. He then photographs these sculptures and superimposes them on a digital landscape. So let me show you some of the other spreads in here. So here we have a Sumatran orangutan, and he's in this jungle. And next, what do we have? Oh, we have the Galapagos penguin. There's also a polar bear in here. This one is the Bengal tiger. So you can see he's poised to pounce. At the back, there's also this great map that shows where these endangered animals live throughout the world so that kids can learn more about the animals and their native environments. So Kunal will be doing online promotions of the book from his home in Kolkata, but he'll also be creating downloadable activity guides to help young readers learn more about these animals. So this book pubs on September 22nd. Our next book is super fun. It's actually a romance. It's called Rancho de Amor, and it's a quick-paced, opposites-attract romance and a modern fish-out-of-water story. So a little bit about the plot. In a last-ditch effort to save a New York publishing house facing imminent closure, book editor Catherine Doyle travels to rural California in search of a mystery author. As she wanders the small town, Catherine slowly realizes that no one's ever seen this author before. While she's there, she encounters a handsome blue-eyed cowboy who threatens to thwart her efforts, but also to change her life forever. The author is Dan Harder. He's an award-winning playwright, book author, and poet, and he's based in San Francisco. He originally wrote this book as a screenplay, actually, which was optioned in Hollywood. The film never got made, but the characters stayed with him, and he eventually turned the book into a novel. Stephen Wynn, who's the former arts and culture critic from the San Francisco Chronicle, calls the book, quote, ingeniously devised and deftly plotted, and he promises a reader's delight in being swept away by a good story. Our pub date for this book is September 15th. Our next book, or rather books, are called Come to Light. It's a quick-paced murder mystery full of eccentric characters written by Madonna. Paul is a prolific and very popular San Francisco-based artist and now writer. He's exhibited his work all over the world. The book is replete with nearly 100 drawings that mimic the journey of the main character. So it's really an illustrated novel. The story incorporates these artist renderings of places and things and people, and it really brings you along throughout the plot. The protagonist, his name is Emmett Hopper. He's the same character as Paul Madonna's 2017 illustrated novel called Close Enough for the Angels. Hopper is an artist turned amateur detective uncovering a mystery full of secrets, deceit, and murder, including that of his ex-wife. So Paul's characters are, I like to say, well drawn, pardon the pun. They're very eccentric and memorable, and you'll really find yourself thinking about these characters long after you finish the book. 1 minute you're catching a cat in Spain, and the next you're walking into an international underworld of art and books. So the special thing about this is it's actually a slipcase set. It's a really quality, museum quality package that conceals 3 volumes inside. Each of the volumes is binge-worthy and portable as a separate read. So let me see if I can pull out, this is volume 3. So each volume tells a different but connected story and is illustrated in a distinct way. You can see here is a full spread drawing of a setting in Italy. And then we have, this is when the character goes to Asia, what he would find there. And then I believe there's one, yeah, this is when the main character, Emmett, comes home to San Francisco, and you see the quintessential Victorian facade there. And then when you're done, you can just tuck the volume back in to the slipcase set and put it on your shelf. So our pub date for Come to Light is October 6th. Our next book is a really lovely art book called The Debt Project. It's a photo essay book featuring 99 portraits of debt across the U.S. It examines the social and personal hold debt has on people while empowering us to share our stories and overcome the shame associated with debt. The author, her name is Brittany Powell. She lived in San Francisco for a number of years. She recently moved to Vermont, where she is a photographer and art professor. Brittany was inspired to create this work from her personal experience with debt. She actually has quite a bit of debt still, and it dramatically impacted her life. And then she was bolstered by the 99% and Occupy Wall Street movement of several years ago to create, it was originally an online art installation. For that installation, she actually received quite a bit of press for her work from media outlets like the Washington Post, Slate, Fast Company, USA Today, the Huffington Post, and more. And so she came to us in recent years to turn her project into a book. So let me show you some of these. They're extraordinarily moving. So each portrait takes up an entire spread. You can see here the subject in their own home. And then on the opposite page is their debt story, and it's actually rendered in their own handwriting. So it's really quite moving. Images are just absolutely arresting. See if I can show you a few more. Here's another one. And then Brittany herself has a self-portrait in here with her debt story near the end of the book. This is obviously not her. Here we go. This is Brittany, the last portrait of the book. So it's just a really moving, poignant portrait of debt across the U.S. with fine art photography and incredibly intimate stories from different people. The foreword is by Astra Taylor. She's a prominent writer, filmmaker, and democracy activist. And our pub date for this book is on October 27th, which is 1 week exactly prior to the presidential election. And debt is an oft-spoken topic in this year's election as well. So very timely. Our last book, unfortunately I don't have many materials to show you because we put it together so quickly, but this is called the Front Steps Project, and this is just kind of a cover mock-up so you can see. This is another photo essay book, and it's curated from a grassroots social movement by the same name, the Front Steps Project. It documents how people coped with living in isolation during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Front Steps Project movement was created in March 2020 by friends Cara, Soulia, and Kristen. They kicked off a fundraiser to unite their neighbors by shooting photographs of local residents in exchange for a donation to a local food pantry. They put it up on social media, and it actually took off like wildfire. Their passion caught on, and photographers across the country and the globe started replicating this philanthropic model. To date, they've raised over $3.25 million for local businesses, and people are still active in this philanthropic effort, so that fund continues to grow. This book features hundreds of photographs and poignant stories that represent 11 different emotions of love, courage, sacrifice, joy, compassion, humor, kindness, pride, play, perseverance, and hope, of course. Proceeds from from book sales will be donated to the United Way and other charitable organizations fighting the global effects of COVID-19. And for more information, you can actually look for hashtag the Front Steps Project on Instagram, or you can look on our website, and we have a little bit more material, some other examples of spreads throughout the book. Publication date is November 10th. Feel free to reach out to us with any questions at westmarginpress.com. Our books are proudly distributed by Ingram Publisher Services, so you'll be able to order them easily through your Ingram rep. Stay safe, everyone, and be well.